Hey kids, welcome to Buck AF. I'm Rick Hughes. I'm one of your hosts here with, as always, the dazzling David Whitescarver. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, you humor me. Keep going. Hey, the off season is off and rolling.
That's right. All kinds of info and stuff today. Chris Godwin has been franchise tagged. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what that means as far as Carlton Davis or Jordan Whitehead, and can we finally stop talking about Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson coming to the Buccaneers? As everybody now, maybe you're freaking out because you thought it was magically, mystically going to happen again because they got Tom Brady. And now maybe you're thinking, oh, crap, wait a minute. They didn't get one of these guys. Guys, it was never going to happen, okay? It was never going to happen. I told you at the very beginning of this whole thing, it's probably going to be Teddy Bridgewater. That's probably who you're looking at, something like that. Long shot, Deshaun Watson. That's a long shot. Guys, your quarterback is probably going to be, I would say, Bridgewater or Gabbert, but who do you think the odds-on favorite in Vegas is to be the Buccaneers quarterback? It's Kyle Trask. That's right. He is the odds-on favorite to be the Bucs quarterback. So everybody, just be ready. It's going to be a transition year. There's going to be some things that are going to have to happen. And we're going to talk about the cap. We're going to get into all of that tonight. It's myself. It's Dave. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing great. And I was just thinking Kyle Trask may not be your quarterback for long if he has nobody up front to block for him that's worth a darn.
And they will get all of that worked out. There's like 30 million more that they can kind of snap their fingers and make available. So that everybody simmer down. And they're probably going to get a deal done with Chris Godwin at some point, and that'll be less of a cap hit this year. And then they'll probably end up with, redoing some other, like maybe Donovan Smith's contract, redoing some folks like that. There are things that can happen. So
you
everybody who's freaking out,
you can undo the franchise tag.
Yeah. You can. If you sign him to a contract, you just no longer have the tag on him. And if at that point Carlton Davis hasn't signed with someone else, well, you drop the tag on him. Or no, you can't drop the tag anymore.
Right. Today, I thought there was
today was the deadline.
4 p.m.
Yeah.
But you know how those deadlines work if you're connected.
Well, yeah. Who knows? But guys, that's what all we have going on now. Let's add another troublemaker to the mix. Let's add Mr. Matt from OKC. Matt, brother. Whoops, let me get the background right. So this makes a little more sense.
How's your hat doing, Matt? There we go.
There it is. That's me.
There we
go.
I was
in the middle of and I'll just finish that up while I talk, sharing this lovely broadcast amongst the world. That's what we do.
Thank you for sharing amongst.
Share alike and all that good stuff.
But yeah, guys, it's I'm gonna want to hear from you tonight. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna add the link if you want to come on here. You don't have to come on video, although I would love for you to. But you are welcome to come on here and talk to us. Give us any questions you got. You can put them in chat, and we'll see what we can do about that. About getting to those. I'll try to keep my eye on those, Dave, if you help me with that as well. We also, I believe, will have a special guest coming by here with Ray from Cup of Ray. Best of the Bay, Ray Kennedy will be hopping by here supposedly at some point. Hey, Christopher Cole, how you doing, my friend? Hey, Willow, Tina, Alec. Boy, the gang's all here. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see you here.
Eric.
What's that? And Eric, sorry, I missed one. Eric says he hopes they sign Amari Cooper. Listen, I don't think that's out of the question. I don't think it's likely, but I don't think it's out of the question. I think you're going to start to see with, and this gets into the Aaron Rodgers thing, the insane amount of his contract, which he says that's not accurate exactly. I don't believe anything he's saying at this point, but look.
Hey, there's a difference between immunization and vaccination, you know.
We're not getting into that.
Couldn't resist. Sorry.
Right. But that is according to Aaron Rodgers. Now Guys, he asked for $50 million a year. You can sign a lot of players in that. Now, if you end up with Gabbert at quarterback or Trask, or maybe even Bridgewater, you're not committing a lot of money to that position. And I think you're going to start to see a trend among some teams where they're getting that quarterback that's good, that's not going to screw things up, and then putting a lot of money towards other players. I think that might start happening. If that happens in Tampa, listen, I'm interested in seeing what Bridgewater or Gabbert can do with Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin, and Rashad Perryman. I mean, that I'm interested in seeing. I really am interested in seeing that. So let's see what happens. But I don't think it's time to jump ship. So everybody chill out. The one thing I'm excited about, guys, is this. And Dave and Matt, I want to hear from you about this. I'm excited. It's going to sound, y'all are going to think I'm crazy. I'm a little bit excited that Brady's not on the team. I'm not excited. I don't think we're better without Brady. You got to listen to the whole thing. Okay. I'm not excited that Brady's not on the team as far as how the team's going to do. But I can tell you, I'm excited to just root for the Bucs again and just get back to having my football team. It's almost like the circus left town, you know? I mean, it is. It's like, okay, now it's time to settle down and get back to real life. And this is what real life football is like. And teams, you're trying to get better. You're trying to do something. Few teams fall into great quarterbacks. Look, the Bucs had a stupid, ridiculous, amazing, wonderful, phenomenal run for a couple of years. It was karma debts that this team's incurred being paid in spades. Okay, everything going right. Now, Dave, you're the one who taught me the phrase revert to the average. Okay? This is...
We could use a whole lot of winning if you look at the entire history of the franchise. We could win 13, 14 games for about 10 years until we get back.
There's no saying we're not going to win 10 games this year, 11 and for years to come. There's no saying we're not going to be a good team for years to come. No, we're not going to be Tom Brady's team. Only 2 teams in history have been Tom Brady's team.
Hey, I bet you the Falcons aren't going to be very good this year.
I think the Falcons, Dave, you and I talked about the fact that they were probably the biggest threat in the division.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley's gone. Okay. Ridley's gone for a year. He's suspended for a year for betting on football.
Yeah.
Okay.
$1,500 on parlays cost him at $11.1 million.
He did it on his own phone. He didn't even have enough. See, that's what happens when you're a millionaire. You don't have any sense.
And props to the guy. Well, he was out for. He was dealing with mental health issues at the time. He was out. Yeah, he was out. He was out off the non-football injury list. He was not on the roster at the time. He bet $1,500. They asked him about it, and he came clean. He totally came clean. He admitted it. He gave him his phone, told everything, owned up to the whole thing. Props to the guy. I hope whatever he went through, I hope he's dealing with it okay. And for everybody who's on his case, yeah, it was pretty stupid. He bet on games and he knew better. He admitted he knew better, and he did it anyway.
Yeah, well,
you miss a year, it costs you $11.5 million. Dumbass. Now we move on. Okay, thank you.
Couldn't happen to a sweeter team.
It helps the Buccaneers just a little more. That's right. So, yeah, that's better for the Bucs. So anyway, listen. So now for everybody who's gonna think, oh my God, Trask is coming. Hooray. Look, we've got Trask. He's amazing. No, he's not. Okay, stop. All right. He was a good college quarterback. He wasn't a phenomenal college quarterback. He was good. And everybody who thinks, man, this is our future, there's nothing pointing to that. Okay, nothing.
He's a Gator, right?
There's nothing saying you can't. Yeah, and I love the Gators. Dave is a Gator. So
second generation.
How many Gator quarterbacks have really hit it big in the NFL?
Well, that
it just doesn't come out of that school. That's all I'm saying. Even the good
yes,
ones,
but you can't. I hate stats like that because they said that about Alabama until recently. It's just you just throw stuff
right.
up against the wall and
They were right, Rick, until recently.
until recently. They're right until they're not. That's my point. I mean, look, here's the thing. We don't know what Trask is going to be. And talking about, well, Gator quarterbacks from 20 years ago with entirely different systems, different coaches, different everything has nothing to do with this, okay?
This is if you're an FSU fan. It completely makes the argument.
Well, yeah, and FSU fans will hop on that board. But the thing is,
Danny Cannell was a great quarterback in the pros.
Who
was the one that went to play for the Knicks?
Charlie Ward. He was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Heisman Trophy, shooting hoops.
I mean, the thing is, guys, thank God we have a terrible division, and we all have a tough schedule. The whole division has a tough schedule this year. So, yeah, it's going to be rough here. Get ready, guys. Get ready. It's going to be tough. It's not Brady anymore. To be honest with you, if I had my choice, I'd probably choose Gabbert at this point. But, let's see what happens. All right, the future's coming. Jorge asked about TB12. Guys.
He means the program or what?
He's not coming back, okay? He's not coming back. Oh, it would be really bad PR for him. It would make him look bad if he came back. And is Tom Brady known for making bad PR moves? He's not really known for making bad PR moves. Right.
He's making
about himself.
Co-star.
Right. Yeah, he's moved on. Okay. He's moved on. He's doing other things. So let's just let him go do his thing. All right. And we had fun. It was awesome. It was great. It was phenomenal. But right now, Brady's not coming back here. All right. He's not.
Hey, we have a birthday. Dre Long's birthday's tomorrow.
Well, happy birthday, Dre.
Happy birthday.
We are all looking behind door number 2, and that's what we've been told to do. Look, Kyle Trask has not even taken a snap in practice. Let me say that again. Kyle Trask has not even taken a snap in practice. Let me say that again. Kyle Trask has not even taken a snap in practice. So why do you think he's going to be so good?
He's a quick learner.
He's a Gator.
He wasn't even active. He wasn't even active for any games last year. One more time. He hasn't even taken a snap in practice. All right.
He's going to break that record, though. He'll be doing it this year.
Probably. So the thing is, guys, it's okay. It's okay that, all right, maybe we got the new guy coming in here. My advice, go ahead and let Gabbert be quarterback for a year. Let Trask learn under him. I mean,
well, they may bring in a veteran just to be the backup quarterback. I mean,
I think they will. I think they will bring in a veteran,
but that's still not on the active roster. We're making this assumption that may not be the case.
It's exactly right. And Tina says it's okay. Have faith, Rick. Tina, I'm a Gator fan. I'm a Bucs fan. I want to believe, but I also want to be somewhat realistic. Okay, I don't want to just sit there and act like he's going to be great. Why? Because he's a Buck. No, I'm going to love him if he steps out there and takes that first snap. Go Kyle Trask. I'm all in. Okay, maybe whoever they throw out there, I'm all in. But I'm also going, look, guys, we got some unrealistic expectations because of the last several years. Okay, we've had crazy good years, phenomenal good years. And now we're all out of whack with our expectations and what we think is going to happen and who's going to come here. It's going to be, Aaron Rodgers wants to come here because Tom Brady did. Or, everybody, you guys have to stop and think we're back to reality. Let's bring in troublemaker number 4. I warned you guys he's coming. Okay. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. How you doing, brother?
Guys, Go Bolts. Yeah, the Lightning were playing against the Winnipeg Jets. Is it the Winnipeg Jets? But, yeah, Rick, you talk about expectations, and you see Aaron Rodgers secure a 4-year, $200 million contract, and we just came out of 2 years with the greatest of all time at $25 million per year. And Bucs fans, we're all looking at this thing, trying to figure out what the heck is this all about?
That's why he wasn't going to come here, because he doesn't do team-friendly deals. I said that a month ago. But you couldn't afford Aaron Rodgers because he's all about himself plus 10%.
Well, they could have afforded him, but then you've got nobody else.
The philosophy of Light is to not mortgage a team off of one player.
And that's exactly right. And that's what we have to look forward to. And here's the thing, guys. We got stupid lucky getting Brady. Okay? 2 teams in history have had the best player ever. Only 2 have had the best player ever, and we're one of them. We got him for a couple years.
Props to Jason Light for putting together a team that was championship ready to get Tom Brady to come here. But yes, that's
David, that's where we're at right now. We're at the very same point we were when we decided that Winston wasn't coming back. What do we do for a quarterback? And we had a roster that was just good enough for Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady retired. And here we are again. We're pretty much the same group of people in all the key elements, and it's good enough for Brady. That's good enough for Bridgewater.
Yeah, Matt, we are back to where we were. Yes, as far as talent and everything. Yeah,
that's what
a B team, depending on who the quarterback is.
Well,
go ahead, Ray.
Well, Carmen Vitale, who you guys recognize, Carmen Vitale, she's been with the Bucs for 2 years now. She's with the Draft Network, and she was on with Ian and Retro there on 620 this afternoon, and she put it so succinctly. She said, don't forget, props to Jason Light, because she was with the Bucs organization before Tom Brady, during Tom Brady, and then saw him leave. And, of course, now she joins the Draft Network. But she points out that Jason Light had put together a team and brought in Bruce Arians and his staff, put together a team that was championship ready. And Matt, I'm glad you said that, because the truth of the matter is Ali Marpet retires and Ryan Jensen's a free agent now. And there are a lot of key pieces to put together. But the truth of the matter is Jason Light had built a championship ready team before Tom Brady got here. Tom Brady just really sped things up and then put us over the top. So at the end of the day, even when Tom Brady retires, we've still got a general manager who knows how to put together a fantastic squad, and we're going to figure it out moving into 2022.
Yeah, I think we're going to have Rick said it earlier, I think we're going to have a year where people are going to be, all the Brady fans are going to run off, and that's fine. The Buccaneer fans are going to be here, and we're going to be used to seeing what we're going through. A 9-win season, 10-win season would be great right now. And
get you your division.
I would rather watch these games this year, because they're not predetermined and you're not looking at it going, oh, well, we'll blow them out. Because you're not going to.
I like those games.
We're going to have 45 points in a game. I just don't see that happening.
I'm not sure who this is. Let's take a look. Who are we adding here? Who's Go Bucs? Who are you? Hello?
That's Alec.
That's Alec.
Alec?
Yeah.
Alec going once. Alec going twice. Alec gone. Okay. Gave it a shot. He just said he made an appearance. That's all he did.
But Rick, you put it so great. You and I talked last week on Cup of Ray, and you said, Bucs fans, it's time to go back to what we do best, hoping for the best, rooting for the best, and you not knowing what's going to happen. And I'll be honest with you, in 2021 as we talked about, running it back, going for 2, defending champion. You love being there, but the fact of the matter is Bucs fans, for 45 of our 47 years of existence for this franchise, we basically had to go into every season looking at the positives, trying to figure out how this team had a chance. And then you throw in the Germany game this year, you throw in the fact that we're hosting the Chiefs, we're hosting the Rams, we're hosting the Bengals, we're going out to SoFi, or going out to, Levi to play against those 49ers, all 4 of those teams that were in a championship games in 2022 or 2021. There's a lot of holes. And Matt, you say 10-7. I mean, could be, but 10-7 probably still puts you in position to win the South as long as you win those games against those divisional opponents.
That's what I think. We got the division, the 4 or 5 teams here. I think we're a lock for that. Anything else is gravy. because we're going to get into the playoffs. Perhaps, I don't know that we make one game, but wouldn't it be more fun to realize that you accomplish that and watch all the ups and downs?
Yeah, guys, what if we end up with Marcus Mariota?
For what?
What if
What's he going to play?
No, seriously, what if we end up with Marcus Mariota?
Why?
I don't want that.
Listen, guys, you're not. Who do you think you're magically, mystically going to get in free agency that's phenomenal?
Give it a shot than Marcus Mariota.
You're not going to get Derek Carr, and he's not a free agent.
Well, we can make him one.
No, you can't make him one. And he's talking about how happy he is now with Josh McDaniel and the new organization in Vegas and all of this. You can't. We can't magically say I'm going to get this guy because I want him.
A man can dream. That's all I got.
I like
Marcus
him.
Mariota can't throw the ball 15 yards down the field. And if you've got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, it's just not going to be entertaining for me.
Well, and here's the thing, guys. The reason why you franchise Chris Godwin, the reason why I posed that franchising Chris Godwin was such a reach, you franchise Chris Godwin because you've got to have a cat that's ready to run this offense, this Bruce Arians, no risk it, no biscuit, Byron Leftwich offense. And if that's not Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask, I don't know. I mean, it took Tom Brady till week 12 of 2020 to get this offense down. I'm not saying that Marcus Mariota or David Carr or any Carr or anybody could have been one coming in here. But you're talking about, you don't pay $20 million. You don't spend $38 million on your two wide receiver positions if you don't have someone that already knows this offense. And that, to me, when they franchise Chris Godwin today, I just want to know what Blaine Gabbert's camp is holding out for, and Blaine Gabbert, this is his last big contract. The kid was a number one, it was 11th pick in the first round, 10th overall, and he's had some bad luck. But he is the only person in his world that's ready to run this offense. And he knows that this is going to be his biggest and best contract he's ever going to get. So it's probably going to be heavily incentive laden, but I'm sure his camp is fighting for that. And I'm sure Bruce Arians and Jason Light are going to bed every night trying to figure out exactly how much it's going to cost to put Blaine Gabbert under center in 2022.
I agree with you. Everything Ray just said, everybody soak that up and just accept it, okay? Stop with the dreaming. I get it. I get the pipe dreams. Yes, we want,
Arian said
Kyler Murray. We want Derek Carr. We want whatever.
That he was building an argument for Blaine Gabbert, saying he was drafted to a poor team because he was drafted so high, and he got slammed. Just what Ray was just saying. But if the coach believes that and he sees something in him now, I guess I will put my faith in Bruce because he's seen the world and he knows what's going on. And if he thinks the guy's good enough, then just get him a contract so that we can start.
Well, remember Carson Palmer saying it takes at least a year for a quarterback to learn this system. It took Tom freaking Brady, 12 games to learn this system. Okay.
He didn't peak till the end of his career.
Okay. so the thing is, guys, let's be realistic. It's probably Blaine Gabbert. And like Ray said, he's probably the best option for this team. And then you put someone behind him like Trask or like Bridgewater or like Mariota or like one of these guys as the backup. That's who you have as a backup. You're not bringing in a savior. You can't look at it and go, oh, well, he's not going to bring us to a championship. Who are you going to go get that's going to hand deliver you a championship?
I don't want Mariota. It reminds me of Jameis Winston.
He was the anti-Winston, wasn't he?
Well, I would pose this, guys. Go back to 2020, 2019, Bruce Arians' first year here. And I know it was only the preseason, but Blaine Gabbert was throwing dimes in the preseason, and then he breaks that shoulder, that collarbone against the Miami Dolphins in the preseason. Jameis went on to throw for 5,000 yards, but over 33 interceptions that season. I honestly believed at that point, now this is just me, I don't have any inside information, but I believe that there would have been a point during that 2019 season that a healthy Blaine Gabbert may have supplanted Jameis Winston at starting quarterback for these Buccaneers because it was his third year in this offense. He was a ninth-year veteran. He understood how to roll, or he was an eighth-year veteran, and he knew Bruce Arians' offense. Now you put him 3 years later, 2 years behind Tom Brady, and moving in 2020, the thing I think is if you were going to bring in a Teddy Bridgewater, if you were going to get if it would have been possibly whoever, why would you have signed that franchise tag, put Chris Godwin in there, and pay that kid $19.25 million if you didn't have
because Bridgewater's not going to be that expensive when he comes. I mean, you're getting a guy that's coming for
Godwin is the future. Mike Evans has only got so many more years left before that hamstring finally stops.
Well, his hamstrings. He has my grandfather's hamstrings.
Well, Chris Godwin.
He's got 8 years of 1,000-yard reception. Receptions.
No, Mike Evans retires a Buccaneer. Mike Evans. There's no way that the Buccaneers let Mike Evans. If he gets his 1,000 yards, and he's already on a Hall of Fame trajectory, and that was Jason Light's first draft pick. I'm not saying anyone's untouchable.
Tom Brady left New England and came to Tampa. Okay. Anybody can go anywhere. Okay. Anybody can go anywhere. That's the most unreasonable or just ridiculous to pipe dream. Yeah, we're going to get Tom Brady. We got freaking Tom Brady. So, I mean, but okay. Now, apparently Alec says he's ready to go. Alec, you ready?
Oh,
Alec.
Hello.
There we go.
Alec.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Man.
I can hear you.
All right.
But I mean, Alec, who do you think's going to end up being quarterback? What do you think the Bucs have in front of them?
I'm fine with anything that's in-house. In my
there's nothing in-house at the moment. Right now, the only quarterback on the roster is Kyle Trask.
I say go Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and here's Alec. Alec and I have talked about this, Rick, if you will. And Alec, if you don't mind me stepping in here, I think what we've said is that if Blaine Gabbert comes back here, but if Kyle Trask beats Blaine Gabbert out in camp, if Kyle Trask in his second year in this system, and I know what you said, Matt, University of Florida is not famous for putting pro quarterbacks. They usually have like a finagle type of an offense. They've had quarterbacks make it to the pros, Shane Stafford, or we go through but the fact of the matter is this kid was a pocket standing quarterback that likes to make pre-snaps reads. If Kyle Trask does beat Blaine Gabbert out in the preseason, I think Bucs fans stand behind that 110%. I just don't know if Kyle Trask is ready to beat out a Blaine Gabbert if Blaine Gabbert's the first option.
Well, what happens if Blaine Gabbert gets hurt? Because that's what's going to happen. He's going to start, and he'll third game the offensive line. If he has, since we lost Marpet, and if Jensen does take off, Blaine Gabbert's going to have a target on him.
If your starting quarterback gets hurt, you're pretty much done.
No,
okay, Matt, that's everybody.
No, Tom Brady came in for Bledsoe and never went back to the bench. So I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but I don't see him finishing the whole season. I think that Trask is going to take over at some point.
When Tom Brady blew out his knee and Matt Castle, I think, came in. Did they win a Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
Didn't they win a Super Bowl the first year or so that Brady was in charge taking over?
Yeah, they didn't win without Brady. When Brady went out, they didn't win the Super Bowl.
It's like right. Okay. I think it was.
When your backup quarterback, okay. Look, if you think we have Tom Brady on the bench, that's a fine parallel. But the thing is, in general, you don't look at your backup quarterback and say, in general, you don't say, wow, I'm so excited about our backup quarterback. He's your backup. Okay, he's not your number one for a reason.
Well, I'll say this, though. I'll say Bucs fans have a lot more, and I know we've got even a smaller sample size, but I think Bucs fans have a lot more to be excited about on a Kyle Trask on the bench behind a Blaine Gabbert than, like, say, a Packers fan does with Jordan Love being on a bench behind an Aaron Rodgers. And I think
Gabbert being key to teaching Tom Brady the system.
Yes. And he's also going to be teaching Kyle Trask by guilty by association as well. And that's why I like that
process. I think that Brady left a year earlier than they anticipated, but they've already started the Harvard School of Football with Tom Brady as the professor last year. Yeah. So now he stepped down a little bit.
Mark says, Rick, you're a downer. No, I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm telling you, I think we're going to win the division next year with Blaine Gabbert. I think we're going to win the division. Okay. I think, listen, if it's a downer to say we're not going to get the best player in the history of the game again, you got real expectation problems. We're going to do just fine. We just had Tom freaking Brady. Okay. We got beyond lucky. Okay. Yes, part of it had to do with the team that Jason Light built and Bruce Arians and blah, blah, blah. Those guys are still there. Okay. So I'm not a downer. I'm trying to tell you guys, stop thinking we have to have some miracle as our backup quarterback. No, you've got Kyle Trask on the roster, and when I say, oh, let's bring in this person to be our backup, I don't want him because what if our starter gets hurt? He's your backup.
Yeah, but Rick, I would say that you take a Blaine Gabbert, you start the season, and Kyle Trask, he still competes with Blaine. You bring in a Ryan Griffith or whoever they bring in as a third quarterback option to compete just to have arms in camp. And maybe that cat ends up making a team. But, you know, if Blaine and Matt, you make a great point. That's been Blaine Gabbert's one bugaboo that I can find in studying the tapes and the history of this kid going back to high school and then at Missouri is that he does seem to get injured. So if he does get injured in week 3 or week 4 and you have to bring a Kyle Trask up, you're not going into the season handing the starting role to Kyle Trask and saying, okay, kid, prove us right or prove us wrong. Instead, you're going in saying Blaine Gabbert's our guy. You're going to continue to learn behind him. But then at that point, guys and girls, as Buccaneer fans, we've got to believe in that next man up mentality. And if Blaine Gabbert went down and if Blaine Gabbert goes down in week 3 or week 4, I would still put my money on the Bucs in week 5 with Kyle Trask at quarterback because I have faith in this coaching staff and this team to be ready to go into that. Unless they're playing the Rams the next week, and then I don't know.
Well, the Rams, no.
But look, I mean, the thing is this: they're going to do the best they can, but
against a hell of a schedule.
But so does everybody else in the division. Okay. And so that means 6 games in our division are going to be pretty darn easy. I mean, relatively, that's just truth.
Well, the thing about it is that's why the NFL does that, right? You finish first place, you get a first place schedule. You finish 4th place, you get a 4th place schedule, and it kind of continues to build that, you know, that not that symmetry, but that, you know, that fairness in the NFL. And we've got parity, right, Dave? Parity. And we've got one hard ass schedule in 2022. There's no.
But so does everybody in the division because we're playing the AFC West with Kansas City and all of those with now Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
and. I mean,
we were a 2 seed in the playoffs when we're playing the 4th most difficult schedule. That's the way that's set up. I mean,
right. And okay. I mean, that it's guys, this is the cost of winning. This is how it works. New England's been losing players for years. When people start going, oh no, we've got to get a really good backup quarterback. That's not the priority. It's something you've got to get. Yeah, you want to get that. But I'm not worried about how we're going to do if we end up with our backup quarterback. Okay, if you end up with the backup quarterback, you're probably screwed. Okay, that's reality. That's how it goes. You got to keep your quarterback healthy.
Washington made the playoffs with their number 2.
So let's talk about our line.
He's not a number 2. He's a number 5.
The important thing is keeping our quarterback healthy. Now let's talk about our offensive line. All right, guys. Dave, you start. Talk to me about what you think's going to happen during free agency. What's up with our offensive line?
Well, it's going to come down to how they manage the salary cap with all the different positions and not just isolating the offensive line. How much money are you willing to give Ryan Jensen to keep him here? He's going to get a lot of money thrown at him. I've heard the Steelers. That's not the only team that they're going after. It's not a pretty picture there. I don't know how much you really want to throw at Ryan Jensen, though he is the heart and soul of your offensive line. Tristan Wirfs will be back. Hopefully he'll be 100%. He's your anchor, and I think he's your best offensive lineman. So you have that going for you. I mean, Ali Marpet, 28, done. I didn't see that coming. It's unfortunate. So it's going to be – Jason Light is going to earn his keep this year if he can put a team that wins the division and can win a playoff game.
Yeah, Donovan Smith will be back.
He'll be back.
It's up to Kappa. We got to figure out what's up with Kappa.
Kappa and Jensen are both contract searching right now.
Right.
I read a thing where Pac-Man Jones, for whatever he knows, said that Jensen was offered 3 for $36 million in Cincinnati, and it's a done deal. Now that was last week, and it never.
And he's so reliable.
He's got sources.
Somebody who said,
Jones.
I read something where somebody said he had more arrest warrants than he had pick sixes.
Yeah.
So
He had a lot of pick sixes. So
there you
give
go.
him his props. But yeah.
What does that tell you? But yeah. Ray, what do you think about the offensive line?
You know, it all loved Ryan Jensen. The Bucs had Ryan Jensen before we had anybody. Brought in Ryan Jensen. They drafted Donovan Smith. They had Jameis Winston. Of course, that line came together, and we draft Tristan Wirfs when Tom Brady comes in here. Everything worked out for them. And then we saw them draft Robert Hainsey out of Notre Dame in the 3rd round of 2021. And we liked this kid's versatility. Both he played center and he played guard. But I'm not in the room, right? So I didn't have a whole big sample size to see Robert Hainsey. But what I'm hoping as a Buccaneers fan, as a person who follows and covers this team, is I'm hoping that Robert Hainsey's ready to take this thing over. Because if the Pittsburgh Steelers or if Baltimore is going to come back and try to offer magnanimous money to bring back a Ryan Jensen, who, by the way, Ryan Jensen, all-world center, loved this kid. But if you're going to pay $20 million for Chris Godwin to bring him back with Mike Evans, and you got to still worry about Ndamukong Suh or what you're doing with JPP, and is Rob Gronkowski going to be here? You can't just continue to throw money at every position. So obviously, I'm thinking, just prognosticating here, that Robert Hainsey showing this team enough that he might be ready to take over that center position. Now you've got a rookie in the 3rd round on a rookie contract, and now you can save that 8 to 12 or for $13 million for a Ryan Jensen and spread it out to your guard positions to cover a retiring Ali Marpet. That's what I'm hoping. If that's not the plan and we're still throwing money at these free agents and trying to franchise Chris Godwin, then I don't know what's going on.
Last time Jason Light tried to buy a line, he got some kid named Chris Baker who was a complete moron. Got a lot of money, but he was a complete
moron.
But
see, that's the stuff, Matt, though, that drives me nuts. Is last time he tried to get a lineman, he said, well, last time he tried to get a quarterback, he was the best ever. So why not just trust whatever he does at quarterback if you're going to distrust what he does on the line?
I just think we got to be careful. I think what Ray is saying is true. We got to spread the monkey around a little bit, and you don't want to go throwing money at something who's giving you a sales job, because Chris Baker at his press conference says, I'm over here on the left to guard my quarterback, blah, blah, blah. I got to protect the quarterback. Second game of the year, he's a piece of junk and he never got better. So we need to be
reasons cautious. You let people go. And
exactly.
That's what everybody needs to know when it comes to free agency, when we all got pipe dreams about how amazing this guy or that guy's going to be when they come in. Guys, there's a reason somebody let them go. Now, maybe it's money. Well, everybody wants to save money to keep all of these good players. You can't keep all these good players.
One thing I will say, if Jensen leaves, we'll save a couple of penalty flags a game for getting up in somebody's grill, because he was notorious for starting trouble.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that sound like it's a good thing. I wish we could have him back. He's, like you said, the heart and soul. But
that's his vibe. I mean, you take the good with the bad, and he had a lot more good than he did bad.
You remember the sideline fight?
Yeah.
That was all Jensen started.
But
well, hey, you guys remember Ryan Jensen's dad wanted to beat me up for a month because 2 years ago, the first week of COVID, they had that big offensive line some out in Texas, and of course the video shows up with Ryan Jensen. You know, it was the beginning of a pandemic, and I'm not trying to post judge, and I'm stupid for bringing this up now that we've gotten away from completely doing away with the NFL COVID protocols.
Are you hearing this, Mr. Jensen?
Well, I apologize to him because I still think his son was one of the most phenomenal centers next to Randy Grimes, my favorite centers in all of Buccaneer history. But the truth of the matter is that guy was out there a month into a pandemic in the middle of 90 guys having a chicken eating contest. What I'm saying, though, is that in retrospect, we can all be right or wrong on a lot of things. And if Robert Hainsey's not your center, maybe he's going to be the guard. Maybe Robert Hainsey is not your starting center. Maybe he's the guy that moves into guard for an Ali Marpet. And if that's the case, then the Buccaneers maybe do have a plan to keep Ryan Jensen here. And maybe Ryan Jensen wants to stay here because he likes to be able to cook that barbecue year round.
Isn't Alec Kappa's a center as well, right?
He does have that. He does have that ability to play center, although I think of him a lot better at the guard position. And Robert Hainsey, who we thought would be the next starting center, if he moves out to guard, now you've got, Kappa and Hainsey with Jensen still at center with Wirfs and Donovan Smith. So you've basically still got an offensive line that's been together for years.
JPP says he's going to come back and play next year. Okay, it looks like Sue is going to come back and play next year. Don't know where, not sure. That's all got to get worked out. But at some point, guys, is it wise decision making to say maybe we need to move on to the next guy here or the next guy there? At some point, that's going to happen. We don't even know who they're going to draft. We don't know who the Bucs are going to get in free agency. We don't know how this whole thing's going to play out. Now, apparently, Jason Light can snap his fingers, and the Bucs are $30 million under the cap. All right. Apparently, that's the number that the Bucs have the ability to free up. So if it's $30 million, it's a lot of money, guys. It's a lot of money to get through this year. So
we're going to have to shore up the secondary to get
right. We are not as blessed, ridiculously fortunate, and lucky as we were 2 years ago when we got Tom Brady. Don't let that skew the way you think this team is. Tom Brady came to Tampa for a reason. These are basically the same players right now that were here when Tom Brady chose this team. Now, I really want to get Jordan Whitehead back into the fold. I actually like him more than Carlton Davis. And I just think, I mean, as far as if we had to choose how much money we're gonna have, if you've got to choose between one of them. So, look, let's see what happens. Drafting is going to be interesting. How about look? I'm not a combine guy. I didn't watch 1 minute of the combine, but I saw highlights. What the heck was with that dude Davis running? Did you guys see what I'm talking about? Right?
Yeah, he's 350 something pounds or whatever, and
340.
He's
and you know what's funny? If you listen to Jason Light during his combine press conference, he said, "We've got the Vita Vea. What we need is another speed person to complement Vita.
Yeah.
Somebody big enough to be on the line, but to be fast. I'm talking fast to help out the power that we already have there. It's almost like he was drawing the script for this guy to go out there and run the 40 for 4.4 or whatever the hell.
Well, Matt, when I hear that, that also sounds to me like it possibly a negotiating ploy. Ndamukong, we love you. I haven't seen much of a drop off. Now the father of twins, and he's locking it down as a family. And of course, he's learning how to invest that money every day. But we need to find someone else at the nose guard or the interior defensive line position that has a pop and go. And maybe that's his send a signal out to Ndamukong and Sue that we might be looking for. He may have been saying, "Look,
we want you to come back, but you're going to have to be reasonable." But on the other side, he's saying there's people here in this draft in an offensive line or defensive line that we could use that fit this criteria.
Guys, we drafted one last year with Joe Tryon, Troy Inca.
Right. Yes. And the only gripe that he had at the press conferences again was that he needed more strength. And that everybody's been saying he's too thin. He needs
he'll get there. That he'll get there. They'll make him into what they need him to be when it comes to that.
And that's what he said. We're working on that and it'll get it taken care of. But JPP's 105 this year. I mean, he's been around since forever.
Right.
So you got to think he's on his last year if he does come back this year.
Hey, he said he's coming back. He said he's playing next year.
Well, and then Sue, he's about ancient too because he played for the Lions when they were halfway decent at one point.
I don't remember that ever happening.
It happened for a minute.
You gotta go back to Bobby Lane for that.
Yeah. Point I'm trying to make is he's long in the tooth. He's not going to be here long. So you may be hearing Jason Light say we could get a rookie to come in next to Vita Vea who's more than capable.
Yeah.
If we don't get to pay Sue, he might want to go get a check somewhere else because we just don't have the money. And I mean, and to take our licks, Johnny Dean said that this offseason we should let everybody go that wants to go because we need to get it all done.
Well,
two different things to me.
That's why Johnny lives. That's why Johnny lives in Pittsburgh, and he's not the GM of the Buccaneers.
Condo down on Davis.
Okay. By the way, I just posted the link again. Andrew Faubert, if you can hop on here, I would love to talk to you about what you just posted.
Anyone?
So, yeah. But that guys, some players are going to be gone. That's just how it is. I don't think there's a way around that. I don't
No.
I'd be nice if there was. I just don't see it.
Am I the only person though that was a little bit okay? I'm going to sound sacrilegious saying this, almost like I'm saying like I need to see someone walk on water before I believe in the afterlife. But when Tom Brady decides to leave, and Rick, I going into last season, I kind of thought this might be his last season, that we all knew this was going to get here. We knew that this time was going to come. Did I want to see them make another run in 2022 with Tom? Sure. I'd like to see him make a run with Tom at the age of 65, just because that cat is so cool. But when Tom leaves, now I realize it could be a chance for this team to do a little soul cleansing. And by soul cleansing, I mean is that, maybe a Leonard Fournette's not here next year. Maybe an Ndamukong doesn't come back. Maybe a JPP or whomever. AP already got himself off the team at the Jets game last season. But the fact of the matter is, it works back to like what you said, Rick. I made arguments for why Mike Glennon was going to lead this team to the Super Bowl. I made arguments going back to why Jack Thompson, the throwing
brought it up again.
Throwing Samoan.
Trading a first-round pick to get that cat to replace Doug Williams back in 1983. I've been making excuses for the Bucs my entire life. We've got a GM and a team and a coach now that doesn't need to have too many excuses made.
Right.
Now all we have to do is look for where the surprises can come from. And guys, this team has a team full of surprises that can come from anywhere, and that's what's exciting about being a Buccaneers fan.
We have a great coaching staff and the training. The 5,000 coaches that we have on staff, you could turn me into a player if I could put on some weight. I mean, honest to God, they fixed Donovan Smith after 4 years of shit.
Well, how much of that was Tom Brady, Matt?
I think.
You get rid of the ball that quick. That's why I kind of want Gabbert. I mean, because he's been able to sit and watch that.
That's true. It was a lot to do with the ball being released, but also we saw in the playoff game.
Hey, Rick, I'm going to switch to the other one, to my laptop.
Alec is confusing me.
Okay. What the hell? All right.
Switching to his laptop.
I know. No, there were two Alex in the thing. Hold on. By the way, Bucs Skull Gang.
Hi,
how you
everyone.
doing?
What's up? Good, everyone.
How are you?
How you doing?
Guys, I saw a potential report. I don't know if you guys heard it from Rap Sheets or Adam Schefter yet.
No, what's it say?
38 minutes ago, I guess we're on Friday about the Deshaun Watson thing, but it says the Buccaneers and the Panthers are looking like they're in the Deshaun
in the
Watson
hunt. Oh, boy.
Yeah,
that's Ian Rappaport. I'm gonna look that up. Thanks for breaking that news.
38 minutes ago.
Well, let me look that up and see what we got here.
We'll know Friday because due to the court thing, remember the legal trouble, we will know from that point. We'll know Friday.
Oh, on all his legal mess.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get 22 lawsuits against you resolved in an afternoon, but he can try.
Hey guys, what's the dream, you guys? What's the dream? What would it take for the Bucs to get Deshaun Watson? We would have saw what Russell Wilson got from the Seahawks.
It says it does say Deshaun Watson's legal situation should clear up a bit on Friday, and if it does, his market will be strong. The Panthers are again among the lead teams in the mix. It doesn't mention anything about the Bucs.
I did
in another article though. Rick.
You have to read it. You have to watch the video.
Okay, well, I can't do that while I'm on the air, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Guys, don't forget. Just because of the fact that Tom Brady leaving was the best and still is the biggest news this entire offseason, the Bucs are going to be associated with it. You could have a Japanese quarterback coming out of the Ichiro Baseball League. Well, the point is though is that
it can happen.
No, why'd you have to go there?
Why you got against Asians?
What's the problem?
Yeah,
what's it?
Marcus
Mariota kind of fits that, doesn't he?
Hey guys, let's take a dream trade, you guys. What do you think the dream trade could be, you guys?
The dream trade?
For the Bucs for Deshaun Watson, we give them Robert Hainsey and our 5th round pick for Deshaun Watson. That would be the dream.
Sold board.
Hey, Texas.
All right.
You
know what's hilarious is if the Bucs traded Kyle Trask and got Deshaun Watson, there would be people that are upset.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't be mad.
No, I know. Good for you. I know you wouldn't, but man, there were.
You mean outside the Trask family, or
you guys? We get Deshaun Watson. We're Super Bowl contenders.
Oh
yes.
I mean, yeah. Deshaun Watson's a phenomenal, probably top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League. If you take away all that extra baggage, right? You get rid of all those civil suits.
That means okay.
22.
Hey guys,
22. We're going to write 22 checks on Friday by 5
we
p.m.
gave AB a chance. That means, but here we go. We give AB a chance, then Bucs can give Watson the chance, right? But the Bruce Irvins knows Deshaun Watson. He knows he's a good boy.
Yeah,
it's a great play. What if the Bucs bring in Deshaun Watson and AB?
AB, no. Hey, all right.
Hey, AB's going to buy the Broncos.
I'm going to clear you guys out just because of we're bringing somebody else in.
Okay, that was fun. I'll let you guys go.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, good. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for kind of breaking that news for us. Thank you.
Take care, brother.
All right, awesome. Alec, I'm out of here. I mean, we're not out of here. I've got to bring somebody else in here.
Gotcha. I got to do the North Sports Dynasty anyways. So
I see it. All right, bring him in here. Get him in here.
There he is.
Andrew Faubert, North Sports Dynasty, live from the cheap seats and whatever else he wants. It is Andrew Faubert. How you doing, buddy?
Gentlemen, how the heck are we doing tonight?
Peachy. Hey, what give us your overview on everything that went on today. Just give us a quickie.
I love those. I honestly, I was at work most of the day, and wouldn't you know it, the second that Aaron Rodgers says that he's staying in Green Bay, my phone blows up like a Roman candle, and all of a sudden, people from like every edge of like hidden Green Bay fandom is like, "Is this good?" And then I got Bronco fans being like, "Well, what the heck are we gonna do?" And then all of a sudden, an hour later, they're like, "Oh, we're fine. This is great. We're good." So it's been quite a roller coaster for a few of these franchises today. And it's a little, not say disheartening, but it's looking a little bleak when you look at some of the quarterbacks that are available for us now.
So what do you think about it? I mean, do you think, with them tagging Chris Godwin, I still think they're going to get a deal done and it's going to be more cap friendly.
Yep.
So that while they can have 30 million now, they may clear up another 10.
Yep.
So, everybody just, I think sky's the limit as far as who they can bring back. It's just a matter of what their decisions are going to be. But, I honestly, I'm okay. This is going to freak some people out. But let's say you bring back Gabbert and pretend for a second you get Deshaun Watson like we were just talking about. All right? So pretend for just a second you get Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
All right. You get Watson. Gabbert is the backup. Watson is put on the bench for the first, 4-6 games, whatever he gets suspended.
Probably.
Okay, 8. It's going to take him a year to learn the system anyway. Yep. So you have Gabbert, who's there anyway for the first part of the year. Guys, it's not a bad setup. It's not a bad – I know I didn't include Kyle Trask in those plans. I apologize. But, it's – guys, that's not bad having Gabbert and – if I'm playing Gabbert's camp, first of all, I'm realizing this. I've got one shot to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and that's with Tampa. I'm not going to be a starter anywhere else.
So he's playing that Slim Shady stuff about this.
Well, and the Buccaneers and Kyle Trask, right? Kyle Trask knows this offense, but there's no other team in the NFL, 31 other teams didn't offer Kyle Trask a free agent contract in 2021. And so, you're right. So Kyle Trask's best chance to start is here in Tampa Bay.
No, not Trask, Gabbert.
I'm sorry, playing Gabbert. But because of that very fact, it does give the Buccaneers a little wiggle room because, the Buccaneers are calling up Blaine Gabbert's camp and they're saying, look, we're going to give you $1 million and we'll escalate it to $73 million if we make the Super Bowl and we win it. And Blaine Gabbert's camp saying, well, that's hypothetical, but why don't you give us $8 to $12 million and escalate it up if we make the Pro Bowl and we hit incentives? So I'm sure that those two camps are.
You're going to end up 6 to 8.
6 to 8 with incentives, right? If Blaine Gabbert's a starter in the Pro Bowl, if we make the playoffs, if we go to the Super Bowl. But the truth of the matter is, I honestly think, Rick, if the Buccaneers do put a package together to bring in a Deshaun Watson, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not talking character here. If he settles those 22, whatever those problems he had with those people, Deshaun Watson would be the most phenomenal pickup because that's your 5 to 8 year plan here.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But I believe if the Buccaneers gave up a bunch of 1s and 2s and capital to get a Deshaun Watson, then I can't see them paying 8 to 12 or 6 to 8 to keep a Blaine Gabbert. They've got to bring in Deshaun Watson and probably have Kyle Trask teaching him the offense.
Kyle Trask didn't take a snap last year in practice.
I just
he
can't
teach him the offense. He can't. Okay, it's not possible. He literally ran the only snaps he took in practice were running the scout team. He was acting like the other quarterback. That's all Trask did last year. So for everybody going, my God, Kyle Trask is the future. Simmer down, Sparky. Okay.
Oh, of course. And that goes to the same thing with Houston, not with Deshaun Watson either, with Davis Mills, because he was drafted basically right after Kyle Trask in the draft. He was the first pick of the 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken. And with that, I kind of agree with what you're saying. I also think there's another way out of it where if you actually do give up a couple of 1st and 2nds for Deshaun Watson, like you're saying, I'm okay with not necessarily bringing back Gabbert, only because then there's another solution. There's obviously a free agent that you can go grab, like a Chase Daniels or a Case Keenum for whatever million, which would be a little bit less than Gabbert. I understand the whole system and all that kind of stuff. I like that. But the other side of it too is you let Kyle Trask run for a little bit. You even go into the 3rd or 4th round and you grab another quarterback that you like for the system, kind of like what New Orleans did last year with Ian Book in the 6th round. Just some guy that represents the system well.
Yeah, how'd that work out for New Orleans last year?
He never really held anything, but he's one of those guys that you have on the depth chart. Same with most of these teams where their backup, when they have a winning quarterback, is just there, right? Because you're hoping to not get injured. And then all of a sudden, if he has to go in, you're either A, throwing a Hail Mary on this kid because he had a good year, aka say Kyle Trask. And if he doesn't have a good year, then you all of a sudden have a really good pick. Now, the side of it is if you have Kyle Trask and he has a good year while you have Deshaun Watson suspended, then you can all of a sudden go around and trade Kyle Trask. So I like the idea of what people have said before, and I believe you have said this before, Rick. You have quarterback and you draft a quarterback every year because that allows you then, if they work out, to trade them if you have one of the GOATs, or like the Jimmy G situation in the Patriots there and a couple other situations that have happened. Or if all else fails, we're looking at a number 1 overall pick next year in a draft that is a little bit heavier loaded with, say, franchise quarterback.
So here's my thought. I think we've got so much. I think we're used to the old NFL where you built through the draft.
Yep.
I don't think that's the NFL anymore.
Well,
I don't. I think you've got to have some core players.
Yep.
And the Bucs have that.
Yep.
And then screw our next 2. If we can give up 2 firsts and 2 seconds for Deshaun Watson, count me in. You can have Kyle Trask. You can. I don't care.
Now, what about the? Sorry, Ray. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. No, go ahead.
The hypothetical trade that I brought up before for the Deshaun Watson would be essentially like 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and then add 3 roster players. So like a Mike Evans or even a Jamel Dean, but I said Sean Murphy Bunting, and then possibly, tight
I don't think it'll be
DBs.
Like I think you're looking at other positions.
Let me tell you, though, Andrew talks about sending Mike Evans back home to Texas, and when you just franchise Chris Godwin.
Edwards.
Oh, okay. You said Mike Evans.
Not Mike Evans.
He was going DBs. I saw him going DBs.
I was trying to make a narrative. But here's the thing, guys, is that one of the most romantic things about Bruce Arians, going back to when he was either at Virginia Tech or when he was a coach at Temple, he was a quarterback whisperer. And one of the great stories about Bruce Arians was he lost his 2 starting quarterbacks and he took his punter, and they said, what are you going to do? He said, I'm going to make this guy a quarterback. And he had 2 weeks to make his punter a quarterback. His punter went out and threw for like 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. If this guy truly is the quarterback whisperer, and I think he truly is, as much as I like to see the narrative as a Deshaun Watson and trade away the entire future, a la John Gruden in 2003 when we get Super Bowl 37, but we didn't have a first-round pick for 30 years. I like Deshaun Watson because he's a phenomenal player, but I just don't like it's just not Bruce Arians' narrative to have to go. We got Tom Brady, Rick, you're right. It was a once-in-a-lifetime, and it literally was a once-in-a-lifetime. There will never be another Tom Brady.
How did he get Carson Palmer?
Well, Carson Palmer, the Bengals had given up on him, and they got him for a steal in 2013 when he goes out there to Arizona.
And that's my point about Bridgewater or similar.
Hey,
True.
Josh Rosen's out there with the Falcons. I bet you could pry him away.
Yeah, that's what
If
I
you want a
want.
10th overall pick, I'm going Gabbert. Thank you.
Hey,
If you're gonna go with
Jameis Winston's a free agent still, guys.
Yeah,
I'm out of
yeah.
here.
Will you stop that, Ray?
You don't want to hear what he's whispering. That quarterback whisperer is whispering when it comes to Winston. Hey, here's the deal, guys. We're getting ready to end this. So what I want to do is one at a time. Ray, tell everybody where to find you.
God, thanks for having me tonight, guys. This is fantastic. It was so liberating for the soul. I had to talk tonight. It was a crazy day with Calvin Ridley and then Aaron Rodgers. But find me on Cup of Ray here on Bucs Report. I go Friday, I go Monday, I go anytime there's news breaking, and anytime when Andrew or Rick or Dave Weiscarver or even Matt on Saturday nights, when you'll have me, I'll come in here. Thanks for having me tonight, brothers.
I'm so glad you were here, my friend. So glad you were here. By the way, you guys put this in your back pocket. How would Deshaun Watson look with Cordarrelle Patterson, I believe is his name, the guy from the Falcons, that running back, wide receiver kind of guy?
Wow.
Imagine putting those two together. All of a sudden, what a fun. No, Andrew?
No, I like that because I don't ever. Oh man, if it happened with the Buccaneers, amazing. But like, I could also see it happening on another team, and I don't like that either.
Right. All right, Ray. Have a
Take
good
care,
night,
fellas.
brother. Andrew, tell everybody where to find you.
I will be on live in about half an hour to talk about all the trades that have happened today, to go over what this pick right here now basically means to the NFL when it comes to actual quarterbacks in the draft. And all of a sudden, Bruce Arians dropped a little bit of hint this morning or this afternoon, where he said there's 8 quarterbacks in the league that he'd like to have, but some of them are obviously under contract. So we're going to talk a little bit about Bruce Arians' Angels and who do we think they're going to be.
Who were
So I'll
you
be
just
live in about
pointing
half an
at?
hour.
Who were you just pointing at back behind you?
The Seattle Seahawks pick right here.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what that was.
Oh, yeah.
Got
My
it.
apologies.
Now I can see it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
Have a good one. Thanks for the invite. Talk to y'all later.
You got it. Matt, tell them where to find you, brother.
I'll be here live from the kitchen studio in Oklahoma City on Saturday night. Buckwild Show, 9:00 p.m. Eastern. 9:00 p.m. I'll be all by myself, and just me and the cat. So we're gonna
I already told you I'd come by, so you're stuck with me a little bit.
Oh well, then we got a Rick Hughes sighting, and maybe David Weiscarver.
We can get Dave to take some time on Saturday. That might be awesome.
Saturday. Let me check my calendar. I'll get back. I have my people talk to your people.
Oh, well, that's good. It's good. Leave me a voicemail. All right,
Awesome.
guys. It was fun. I'll see you guys later. Have a good
See you
night.
later, my friend.
All
right, Dave. We're alone. No, that was creepy. So
I didn't say it.
All right. So let's finish this off, you and I. Let's look at where the Bucs are right now, and I hope everybody is looking at realistically what we're probably looking at, and you're all okay. You understand this is going to be a process, and it's not going to be as magical as the year Brady came in. But I'm still excited. Dave? Are we going to win the division next year?
Oh, I think we win the division by default.
Yeah.
The Falcons got worse with Ridley betting $1,500 on a parlay. Let's face it. I mean, they weren't great to begin with. I think, by default, you're going to win your division. Jason Light is probably going to roll the dice on some players, hoping that there's people who can step up. It won't be a lock like it's been the last 2 years. It could go well. It could not. I mean, there's just a lot of balls are going to be in the air, and where they fall, it'll be very interesting to see. But I'm looking at a 9-10 win season more than likely, based on the resources they have. I know we don't know who exactly is going to be quarterback. We have a really pretty good idea. Playing Gabbert. But still, you're looking at a 9-10 win season, I think. So there's going to be more of an up and down and unevenness to the way the Bucs play as opposed to the last 2 years, of course. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Godwin's going to be there, or you're going to get a king's ransom in return for him. One of the two. If somebody throws a lot of money at him, you get 2 number 1 draft picks. So that's not a bad situation to be in. And we'll see. It's going to be interesting. It's not like, oh, you're bringing everybody back. Let's roll again. This is going to be a totally different model. And steady as she goes, but I'm expecting some surprises. And totally shifting gears just for a minute. And I'm the only one who thinks it's a bit odd that Russell Wilson, who had, maybe it's just me, he had veto power and no trade clause, why he wanted to go to Denver.
Well, Denver's not a bad team. They're not bad. So, I mean,
it's tough division.
It's an upgrade from where it was. So, yeah, maybe it's a tough division. No argument, but he's relevant again, and the Seahawks are not again. So, I don't know. Dave and I will be here next Tuesday night. We're going to ring in the new league year. Happy freaking New Year, everybody. Next Tuesday night. It's a New Year's party. So
January 1st, it's March 16th. That's the real New Year.
Yes, that's right. So next Tuesday, the 15th, we are going to be here ringing in the new year for you all the way till midnight, talking about everything that's happened this week from this point forward, all kinds of info, and we hope we will see you guys there. So thanks a lot for joining us, Dave. Thank you, as always. And go Bucs. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.